Welcome to the show. We have Adam on today, and Adam is an amazing spiritual medium. And I've worked with Adam, gosh, years now, I think. I know through classes and Lily Dale, which is our kind of like our spiritual mecca
Yeah.
place that we go to in New York. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Adam is a psychic and a medium. And if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that all mediums are psychic. And he's also a teacher and energy healer with an international following. Adam has completed several courses on advanced mediumship in said Lily Dale Assembly in New York, as well as with tutors from the Arthur Findlay College in England. Known for his detail and accuracy, Adam enjoys a large following and stellar reputation, which I can vouch for. He has appeared on several TV shows as well as worked with the psychic detective TV show in a promotional capacity. As well, Adam was profiled in the book Best Psychic New York as one of New York's 60 top psychics. Adam's first book is due out autumn of this year on
Fingers crossed.
yeah, honey, I know, yeah, on psychic children. I love that. So, Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into all the information that we want to share today.
Okay, yeah. Firstly, thanks for having me. I feel very honored.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, interested in things like psychic phenomena, spirituality my whole life. Like when I was a kid, like if a show came on about real witches, for example, it's like I had to watch
Ooh.
it and stuff like that. That stuff was always good, and I really came into this as a scientist, actually. And I studied meteorology in college and everything, and but I also started studying the martial arts, a very esoteric, mix of martial arts. And I had a very spiritual teacher. And after like doing the different forms and exercises, what started happening is I started to see energy fields again. I know we
Oh,
were doing that as a child. See like reds around one person and yellows around another, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And stuff like that was happening, and things like I'd wake up and think about somebody that I haven't seen for like a month, and I'd see them that day. So just by doing all that stuff,
mhm.
my psychic ability started to resurface. And it wasn't until I was like 24 that I actually started to learn how to do readings, when I met a brilliant psychic in Oklahoma City named Amberella. And she kind of told me, well, you have the gift. And she gave me cards, and I caught on to really quickly. So so since then I've been very interested. And then in the around 1994 is when I started to do psychic readings professionally. And then as time went on, it was around 2000 when John Edwards started to hit the scene. And of course, I'm a New York City boy, and people would tell me, like even in the 90s, have you heard this kid, John Edwards? He's like 16 and he's phenomenal. And I would like hear that. And then he got a TV show. It was, crossing over, but he had a special before that. And he started saying things like, well, when the spirits come in, like I'll either see symbols or I'll feel things or I'll know things. And then everything that he was saying, I'm saying to myself, well, this happens to me and this happens to me. And I never would call myself a medium. Like I would do my tarot reading. There's a palmist, an astrologer. And every now and then I say, well, I'm not really a medium, but I feel like your mother's here. And 80% of the time they would say, but of course I'm not really a medium, right? So
Right.
at some point I was getting stronger and stronger. And actually the famous psychic Phyllis Woodbury came through in a reading. Yeah, for really an astrologer. I haven't spoken to her for years, but she took the name Janet Woodbury, so she actually took her name. But anyway, that's kind of a long story. But to speed things up a little bit with the stories. At some point, I was at somebody's German Shepherd is with me. It's
Probably
like,
mine.
oh, yours.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like I'm seeing this German Shepherd and smelling dog around me. I'm like, and I don't have dogs right now. But anyway, it was the spring of 2001, I think, and I was working at this store called Quest Bookshop. They're tarot readers, part of the New York Theosophical Society in New York City, and and I've been getting more and more hits from the other side, and really, really curious of like, should I, be a medium? My brother died 2 years prior, so that's when really the messages started to come in, when he started to come through. And first time in 4 years, spirit works in really miraculous and mysterious ways. So 4 years, nobody had ever asked about a medium where I work, but some man called up and asked, if they had anybody that can talk to the dead. So basically, they asked me, do you want to take the reading? I said yes. So I went to the back room and I just said a little prayer, to my guides and angels. And the key is non-attachment, right? Like if you're not attached to things, miracles can happen. If you are, you block it. So I didn't even care. I just asked my guides, am I really a medium? And if so, let me get very specific information, like not like grandma's holding a jar of cookies that says I love you, but real like solid evidential information. And if this works, like if this happens, then I will follow this path. If not, I won't. And I didn't really care, honestly, one way or another. So the gentleman comes in, maybe like in his mid 40s, taller, dark-haired gentleman. And we shook hands. Immediately, as soon as I shook hands, I got father in my mind. Like that just popped right in. And then I felt this stabbing pain in my chest. And then as we sat down, I was telling him that, and I was saying, well, I'm getting the number 10, the letters R-E-N. I'm seeing an airplane. I'm getting father and heart attack, or something sudden in the chest area. And he kind of looked at me at that moment, and he said, well, my dad passed 10 years ago. And I think he was Hebrew or Middle Eastern, but he said he has a long name, but it starts with the letter R-E-N. He died of a heart attack, and he was an airplane pilot.
Wow.
So it was kind of like, I think it was a little bit of beginner's luck, or actually it's just.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, actually, spirit giving me the answer, but it gets even better because I had friends who were mediums, and I got to see Shelley Peck, who's like John Edwards' mentor, live in the 90s. Like I had a lot of respect for mediums and mediumship. Like I was part of the Queen Psychic Club, like amazing mediums, like George Anderson, amazing mediums were present there. Right. And I had a lot of respect, but in my mind it's like, but they're dead. Why bother? Why talk to them? So that's was my mentality at the time. So as I worked through this reading, like I start to learn that I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. I started to learn that this man had a very strained relationship with his dad, and the father was coming through and just saying, I saw you as a reflection of myself, and I'm sorry that that are so hard on you and everything. He just like broke out crying. So I'm like, first time I've ever done a mediumship reading. And I have a grown man crying in front of me, and I'm like, like what next? What should I do? And then spirit just said, oh, just lighten it up. So they talked about like a family reunion or stuff like that. But anyway, after the session was over, like he says to me, he shook my hand. He said, for 10 years I held on to this guilt and pain, and 1 hour with you, I can let it all go. And then I had my answers. Not only that I knew, like spirit will always one-up you, right, and do one better for you. It's not only that I knew I could do it, I knew why I should do it, like what the value of mediumship really is. And that's when I started to find out about Lily Dale. And spirit picked out Sharon Klingler, who I know you know, because we took a class. And I had a choice of, because that summer there's Raymond Buckland, who I know, like having studied a little bit of Wicca in the 90s and read his books, I really respect. And then Sharon Klingler, and I'm like, I don't know who Sharon is, but I know Ray, so I'll take his class. And Spirit's like, no, Sharon. So even doused they're like Sharon. So I did it. I listened to Spirit, and it was about 20 minutes into the class, I knew I found the right teacher, because just the way she spoke about mediumship, just within my language, like the way I understood it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, you get that, right? So
I do.
she's still, I'll still call her my teacher, even though I've been taking a class for her for like 5 years or so. Like, she's my first and best, and
Yeah, I get
love
it.
them. I love
Mhm. Yeah,
I'll
I get it.
was great too from the college, but I've had a few others, but she's amazing. Yeah.
Well, good.
So that's my
So,
story in 5 minutes or less.
no, if you would, please
Sure.
give us an idea of spirituality and how you got interested in the spiritual aspect of it.
Oh yeah, that's a really good question because was pretty deep into spirituality like long before I even knew about that I could be a medium. And I mean, it, and mediumship really became my spiritual path, but through like martial arts and then yoga and meditation and just being out in the woods. And then I done a lot with Native American shamanic journeying and stuff like that. And to me, I mean, basically, it's my religion, it's my spiritual path. And basically what that means to me, just the way that I'm shifting my vibration and energy, shifting my perspective, and learning and growing, to be more aligned to spirit. But the thing is, with spirituality, more is less. And there's two great teachers, one being Bruce Lee, being a martial artist, but he got a lot of his philosophy from a not too well known but very amazing Indian philosopher named, he goes by J. Krishnamurti, and he's a theosophist too, which is ironic, although he left the Theosophical Society very early on, because it was around when what's his name, the one that, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but anyway.
That's the mind of a medium.
Yeah, Rudolf Steiner, right around this
Okay.
time he split from the society too. But in any event, one of his quotes was, "Spirituality is not a matter of daily increase; it's a matter of daily decrease." And then Bruce Lee kind of repeated that. Meaning, like we're spirits and bodies, like we are spirits, we are one and aligned with the Great Spirit. Like, you can't get any more spiritual than that. So if you're on a spiritual path, you're trying to like peel away the layers and eliminate that which keeps you from really understanding your true authentic self. And when you understand your true self, you understand like the other person's true self. And you realize we're really not that different. In fact, in the heart, we're one and the same. Like, we all have the same heart. And
I love that, Adam. That's simple but brilliant. It is simple but brilliant. Oh, you're welcome. So would you like to take the first, I want to say caller, but the first person that has their hand raised?
Sure, yes.
All right. So Kristen, I'm going to promote you to panelist. You do have to have your mic and your camera on. Hello, Kristen.
Hi.
Hi.
Oops, I'm going downstairs so I get better service.
Oh, okay.
Is there any particular questions that we can ask, or is it?
Ask away, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the worst that can happen is I won't be able to answer. We won't be able to answer.
No. My best friend lost her brother suddenly last year. I just want to make sure, is he around us? Is he around her? Is he okay?
Okay, so let me just ask Spirit. So I know you're Kristen. I mean, I do know that you're very intuitive, and that and I do know that there's either a grandmother figure or somebody around you that would have either prayed or did something spiritual, I want to say. Now, in terms of like this person that passed on, so we're looking at a younger male figure. I may need a little more information just to call him in. That's what his first name is? Are you still there?
His first name is Christopher.
I shouldn't doubt myself because I was hearing that, but you're Kristen. So
Hear me?
It's okay. So I feel like he's here. I feel like this is somebody that's really full of life. I'm seeing a lot around me when it comes to I don't know if he drank it all, but I do feel like this is somebody that's social, I want to say. I feel like I'm really like out there with people, and either the passing was around the celebration or something like that, around an event or something like that. And it was suddenly, right? Like unexpected or, hi, are you still there? Does that make sense? Or
Very unexpected.
yes? Okay. I mean, I don't know if this is auto related. It feels like
It was very unexpected.
okay, yeah. The sound is like cutting in and
Yeah,
out.
the sound is cutting in and out, Kristen, so bear with us, please.
And interestingly, I don't know, yeah, and you might not know this, but a name like Rose or a female R name comes up in my mind also. And you may not.
Okay. I'm in a good spot. I'm on Wi-Fi.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
He's
just
on delay. Adam, you're doing
No,
fine.
the
honey.
sound was just cutting in.
yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
not hearing. So I mean, I'm hoping that this makes sense. But yeah, I do feel like he's still here. You know, and I definitely feel like he has shown himself a lot also to
Yeah.
people around and left a lot of signs, I want to say. And I feel like he brings a lot of love to you. And I don't know if a name like Susan comes in. I think in the living or a nest name, but that just popped into my mind. So I mean, you know,
Okay.
that's not your friend's name. You could ask her or whoever that is. But I feel like he's bringing a lot of love also. And
Okay.
and
So,
he
Kristen, thank you so much, dear.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for chiming in and spread that news. All right, take
I
care,
will.
dear. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You know what? Let's get back. Adam, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was, you know, you've had this since childhood, and so have I.
yeah.
But does that mean that anyone can be a medium, or that everybody's automatically a medium? Or does it have to happen in childhood?
I mean, that's a really good question. And I've had debates with people. You know, some people are like, you're either born with a gift or you're not, and so forth and so on. And certainly there are people that just come out of the womb as a medium and they're brilliant and don't necessarily need training. You know, they just got it from maybe another lifetime or whatever. But, and I'm not one of those. I mean, yeah, I was, you know, seeing spirits or whatever, but no more, I'd say, than any, you know, average sensitive child, I want to say. And I do believe that anybody can learn to do this. I really believe that. And I do teach, and I've led weekend seminars. I've had newbies. I had somebody, you know, one of them that was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks out of recovery, like a 50-year-old man that was a drunk his whole life. And he did the seminar, and at the end when we did the group messages, like he got the name and he got a lot of specific information. And
Wow.
when they validated that, he looked at them and said, wow, I thought I was making all that up.
Right,
But
and that's what it feels like. You know, when you're first
like,
starting,
and I tell them, you know, I always tell them that feel free to make it up as long as you're not in your personal thinking mind and you're present, then it's
Right.
spirit, you know, and you're beckoning it for information. So yeah, I believe that we can all learn. It's a human talent, you know, just like being a gymnast or playing a piano, you know, and anybody can learn to play the piano. I mean, as long as you have the 10 fingers, obviously, and all, but not everybody's going to be Liberace or Elton John. You know, there's different levels of talent that people have. So, you know, everybody that learns to be, you know, mediumship, you know, it's not going to be like the next John Edward
right.
or whatever.
And how much work do they want to put into it?
Yeah, that's true too. But yeah, you know, and there's a, you know, gentleman, I won't, you know, say any names because you know who it is, but you know, because we studied with him, who for years, like he would go to the classes, you know, do messages and inspirational stuff and stumble through it and stumble through it and stumble through it. But then like at one point he became like a really good medium, and he was like nailing it and got really good. So you know, this is somebody that wanted to do it. Like he didn't catch on in the beginning. You know, he's having a hard time, but he didn't give up, and he's good now, like really good. So, and I
That's
actually know
awesome.
somebody back home like that also.
That's
So,
awesome. So let me take another
okay.
person. So Danielle, this is Danielle coming on. Hi, Danielle.
Hi.
Hi, you have a message or pardon me, a question for Adam?
I just want to see if anyone's been around lately or anything that you can.
All right. So this is for Danielle. Let me just ask Spirit. I don't know if you would be aware of a gentleman that would like to wear like a sports jacket. but all of a sudden that comes in, and then he comes in. I really feel a very hard time breathing around this gentleman. I want to say, um, like in other words, like there's maybe been something like congestive heart failure, lung cancer, emphysema, something that would cause a hard time with the breathing. I want to also wonder if you would understand like the nickname Bob or similar B name. Sometimes I'll get names or initials in the living, but and if no, you can let me know. I don't mind if people don't get it, but that just kind of popped into my mind also, and I feel like I'm also being shown something with somebody that drank a little bit also. I want to say as well. I think that connects with the same person. Now, are you getting any of this yet, or not really?
My uncle just passed and had problems with the lungs,
Uh-huh.
but he didn't drink and
Okay.
didn't have a B name.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll
anyone.
get names or initials of people they're with or to say hi in the living. But I definitely feel like this would be either an uncle or a father figure. I want to say, or father-in-law that's coming in. I want to say as well, and I don't know if you have pets as well, or if you've had pets, but I feel like there's a lot of animals around me. Unless I'm picking up on somebody else's, but I'm sorry. Oh, Danielle, that's right. Oh, and there's a lady that steps in really strong around you also. Now, mom's still in the living, I hope, or? Okay, I feel like this is a motherly present, but I don't feel like it's a biological mom, I want to say. Gives me the feeling of a grandmother figure, I want to say also. And I don't know if if you were close to one of your grandmas that crossed over, but she brings her energy right over you as well. And I don't know if there's a J name connection that you're aware of around that or around her, I want to say.
Yeah.
But that just popped into my mind as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're acknowledging you going in a different direction now, I want to say also. Are you looking at different work or something like that, or started something new, or because they're making me feel like you're going
Kinda.
and there's some education that comes up around that also, I want to say, and that it's going to be more like solid in the summer, I want to say as well. And I feel like they're supporting like the changes. Like the woman that comes in, she might have been religious. Can I get her in prayer also, I want to say. And I feel like she either watch the birds or you think about her and you see birds flying, but that would be one of the messages or one of the ways that that she's coming in, I want to say also. I feel like she's saying that you're doing fine. There's sort of a matter of putting things back together in your life, but you're doing a good job, I want to say, from events that happened maybe 2 years ago or so, I want to say. And you're going, things are falling into place better now, and it's more of a matter of you being more confident and stuff like that. So
Very good.
That's
Danielle, that was awesome. That was awesome. What great news. So thanks for chiming in, Danielle. It was great to see you. All right. So Adam, describe your work with psychic and spiritual children, because I know that that's what your book is going to be about.
Yeah.
So fill us in here.
Well, that all started at Lilydale when I took my son Ogden to Children's Week when he was 7, and he gave his first message, which was actually pretty good, I have to say.
That's great.
He, of course, he's such a pet person. He when he was his time to go up, he'd say, "Well, around you, I see a little orange kitty." That's how he would give his messages and stuff like that. But just watching these children was like really fascinating, and I'd always been interested in children and noticing, being that I'm turning 60 this year and all, noticing each generation. I think it started with the 80s, but noticing each generation of children, they seem more and more psychic and more spiritual.
I agree.
That and it's it's all it's crazy over the top, and these kids are going to put us out of a job soon.
Well, it's nice to know that mediumship is even becoming stronger and better.
Yeah.
Because of our influence on truly, because each generation teaches those beneath them.
Yeah. So having seen this, I wanted to be part of it, and I wanted to work with these kids because I really Yeah, I mean, I love kids and I love their energy to begin with. So, you know, I could be around kids, you know, not, I wouldn't say all the time because I need to rest too, but um, and so, you know, I hooked up with this child psychologist who's also like a psychic, you know, in my area. We started to, you know, her name is Athena Drewis, and we started to do these, you know, group kids. We do it just once a month, and
Mhm.
you know, we have a, you know, a couple of them. I have like this 10-year-old girl who's just flat out amazing, named Samara, who she'll come in and she'll talk about, like, she'll see the spirits and she'll describe them, and you know, people will visit her parents and she'll point out the spirits around the people
Oh,
and
wow.
about them. Yeah, like she's just such a natural, and yeah, we give them a chance to talk about their experiences because it can be a little bit scary for kids. You know, I would, when I was little, I was afraid to go to my third floor because the man at the top of the stairs, and my parents would be like, "What the heck are you talking about? There's nobody up there. What's wrong with you? It's all in your imagination."
Yep.
Blah. And I think, you know, as a kid, all somebody would have to say is, well, you know, that's just a spirit. He's not going to hurt you or anything. You know, he's just, you know, there.
Right.
I think it would have been a lot easier for me if somebody had really explained like what was really going on and everything. And so we give them a chance to talk, and then I usually lead them through a little exercise or something. You know, sometimes it's like spirit animals or spirit guides. Like sometimes they just have them do stories or stuff like that, just to, you know, use their imagination. Really, just empower them to let them know, like, you know, that this is, you know, something that's not, you know, anything scary or anything, you know, out of the ordinary. You know, you're just, you know, just some people have this gift, and it's a good thing. And even, you know, with my son, who actually, when he was, I think, 16, he gave like a message that any meeting would have been proud of to Adariah Susan. Actually was sitting in the audience, and she took the message and everything at Lilydale. And one time, yeah, we went up to Lake Erie, and I was talking to him, and I said, you know, no matter what you do in your life, learning this stuff is going to make it better. You know, I had this talk with him. I said, you know, you may never be a medium, you may never give a message in your life, and I'm fine with that. Like, don't do this to make me proud, because I, you know, what you do is what you do, and I'm proud of you no matter what. But you learn this, it's going to help everything, you know, in your life, and I really believe that, because it opens up a part of our energy fields and a part of our mind that is dormant with most people. And when that's open, and even, gosh, you know, our current president, God help him, I'm sorry about that, but or our current American president. You know, one time I saw him years ago on Larry King Live, and you know, Larry just asked him, you know, so what do you owe all your success? This is long before the politics and everything. He just very matter of factly said on the air, "I trust my gut." Basically, you know, that's what he said, and I, you know, at that time I kind of said, oh, maybe, you know, he's pretty cool after all. But I'm leaving
But
my
how do you use that gut?
yeah, I'm leaving my political views out of this, but not to offend anybody. But be that as it may, that I thought was very cool, and you know, there's a, you know, a couple of other things that you know, I liked about him. But in any event, and you know, that's along the line, you know, what I'm saying, and you open up that part of your mind and your energy field, is going to, you know, make everything better, basically, you know. So
Right.
these are really skills that can go in a lot of different directions. And, you know, mediums, I mean, we're known to talk to dead people, and that's what most people want. So from a professional perspective, that's what I'm doing most of. But, you know, we can take the same techniques or the same intention and connect with our guides, our angels, you know, the ascended masters, to God, goddess energy, you know,
Right.
source energy. Like, you know, you can use these to make those connections, basically. And it, you know, opening up the chakras and everything. So there's a lot of like chakra work and a lot of energy work that goes along with this. Of course, I'm an energy healer also, so we work a lot with you know, bringing energy up and down the body and all that, and yeah, and working with the spirits kind of is the same thing, you know, for me as well. So
Do you think that, you know, piggybacking on what you just said,
yeah,
do you believe, of course, everybody can be a medium, we already discussed that,
right,
but do you believe everyone can use that psychic ability in every aspect of their lives?
Sure, and I do believe that I won't say everybody. I think most people do, and they don't always realize it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like when you have like an aha moment or think about it, it's like you're thinking about it, and all of a sudden the answer comes in. It's like, where do we think that that's coming from? You know, and yeah, we're all psychic. You know, it's just part of a human ability. I mean, currently, you know, it's estimated that we use 10% of our brains. You know, geniuses use maybe 13 or 14% of their brain or whatever. So you have like 90% that's subconscious, and the way that you know, the brain functions, it's logarithmic, or in other words, for every 10% of brain power, a brain that you use, that's 100 times brain power that you have, basically. So that's what I mean by logarithmic function. So, you know, we could, you know, literally like move things. You know, we could all learn how to be telekinetic. I mean, I was amazed that I could do spoon bending when I did it also.
I know, me too.
Yeah, like, oh my God, that really works. And
Yes.
that's like the segue into telekinetic abilities. I mean,
Yes.
it's theorized that we, you know, I mean, we can walk on water like Jesus did too. You know, I was gonna say, you know, like we can learn, you know, like you know, because Jesus did say, you know, like to the effect that you know, I'm not any different than you. Like, you know, I'm the you know, the son or the messenger or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, he basically saying, you know, I don't have any special abilities that you don't have either. You know, I'm just enlightened, and you're yet to be enlightened. You know, that, you know, to the effect, anyway. But
I get it. That you know what, that's so what my relationship with Jesus has been. He's been my
yeah,
teacher. He's been
oh
my
yeah,
teacher is what it is. Not necessarily granted he's an elevated or a higher level, you know, spiritual being than I am, of course. But he still gives me the impression that like he's right here on my level. You know,
yeah,
he's a brother. He's still learning too. So it's interesting that you bring that up, that he is just someone that shows us what we can do, what the potential is. Yeah, I love
yeah.
that. Tune into her name. Tune into her name. Come on, Carol. I'm seeing you, but I'm not seeing you. There you come.
I'm hearing you. Oh, I see.
Hello, Carol.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. You have a question for Adam?
I do. I would like to know if you see a love life in my future.
Woohoo!
Oh, yeah. So a little more psychic question. Well, firstly, I would say I do get a very lovely mother figure around you. I want to say, you know, in the spirit world, that's really helping, like with the healing, like we feel like there's a lot of healing that's going on with you now, and this person comes in and provides that energy also. Now, I do feel like, and like I'm being shown a very warm gentleman, like in the living also, that has darker hair, that maybe actually when they show me that it's more like graying, but a full head of hair, I would say. And they make me feel like, I mean, I don't know if you know this person yet, honestly, but you're asking about your love life, and they're making me feel like there's somebody around you, or somebody coming around you that's yeah, that would be conducive with that also.
Yes.
You understand who that is? Or?
Yes, totally.
Okay, awesome. And so yeah, I feel like he cares for you a lot, but as I'm talking about that, they're saying he can be, I don't know if the word shy is the right way to put it, but a little bit reserved, I want to say also. So he may not always say what's on his mind or what he's feeling, I want to say as well. But they're saying that you're very intuitive, so you can kind of read between the lines also.
Yeah.
So yeah, it may take you a little while for this to be like exactly what you want, but I do feel like, and there's somebody funny around too that's saying, you know, you've got one on the line, is what they're saying to me. So
I love
yeah,
it.
things are, you know, after a long wait, I want to say things are about to get better. I want to say also.
Good. Very good. Well, there's the answer to your question, Carol.
Well,
Thanks.
thank you very
Oh,
much.
you're welcome. Thanks for chiming in, honey. Take
Thank
care.
you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So we just described the work with the kids, and I love the idea of you having a regular group for them, because it's difficult you know, after a while, when we're working so diligently and steadily, it's hard for us to find time where we can give back, you know, and that's one aspect of your work, which is just fabulous. I love it, and I commend you for doing that.
Yeah.
It does. It takes some time out of our personal time. I get it.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel that the role in spirituality / mediumship has to do with where you're seeing the future going for this world?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I mean, I do feel like it's going to be opening up more and more. You know, I feel like science is gonna, or I think this is already starting to happen, but the science is kind of getting on board and trying to figure out like what's going on. I mean,
Right.
there's still like a lot of people that are very like closed off and very skeptical and all, and you know, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. But you know, my feeling is, and you know, actually what I'm hoping is that as time goes on, like things like meditation and yoga will be taught in schools, and they'll actually start to you know, develop children in a 50-50 way. Like, in other words, you know, we have right and left hemispheres of our brain for a reason. You know, the right is, you know, the more intuitive and abstract, and the left is the more like rational and concrete. But you know, the way that we're raised, we develop, you know, 90% of our development is for our left brain and only 10% for our right brain. So we're doing
Right.
math, arithmetic, you know, reading, science, yeah, almost like every day, but art once a week, music once a week, basically. So you know, so I feel like as people start to evolve, you know, and they start to really look into things, they're going to realize that, you know, if you develop like in a 50-50 way, like everybody would be what we call a genius now, because we're using that, and you know, I feel like, you know, people are gonna like, you know, be more open to, you know, intuition, psychic, mediumship stuff. I mean, it's opening up. I mean, I love John Edward because, you know, he had the courage to step out there. You know, he's really the first, you know, the first psychic on prime time, the first medium to have a show that I'm aware of. I mean, I know a few others had specials before that, like James Van Praagh or whatever, but you know, like he's the one that really took this leap and put himself out there, you know, for all the scrutiny and everything, and you know, and obviously took a lot of flack for it, and yeah, I met John a couple of times. He's very nice when I met him also, and yeah, people are gonna believe what they do. Like I saw the famous British medium Gordon Higginson on a YouTube clip. He's since passed on, but all the British mediums talk about him, like he's amazing. And he's there, like in the video, like he's, you know, in his British accent, he's like, I've got a Mr. Hall here. Yes, his name is Terry Hall. And he's going on and he's saying, and I'm seeing like a Birch Street and the number 6. And the sitter's saying, yeah, I live at 6 Birch Street. And he's identifying things. And then I'm still seeing comments under the YouTube saying, this is just cold reading. This is all general. And this is what people are commenting. And I'm like, really?
What?
It's like, the man got the first name and the last name of the communicator, the freaking street address, and this is cold reading.
That doesn't. Then obviously, the trolls are making themselves known. Yeah, and the uneducated. That's just it. Yeah.
Well, education. Yeah. So my point being is that education is what I'm seeing in the next, like, say, 20, 30 years. Like, people like really, you know, understanding that this is a real thing, you know, this real, you know, we can all really do this, and people starting to be educated, and you know, for us as professional mediums, it's good to, you know, it's good for them to know that, because like how these clients, like as soon as like I get somebody, it's like, oh yeah, that's my mother, do you know her name? And in my mind I'm thinking, why don't you know her name? Because I don't say that, but what I do say is like, I won't hold any information, or I'll say not all of them give me their names. You know, there's different ways of getting evidence, and I know some amazing mediums that never get a name. You know, so that's only one way of identifying, and you know, so that's like deep breath patient when I get people like that. But it's really because, you know, they're uneducated and you know, and I think that that's it. And I think, you know, as people start to have their own experiences, like working with their own guides and loved ones, and starting to feel their energy and realize, you know, it's not like you and I are having a conversation. We're basically talking to beings that are in a different dimension, in a different
Exactly.
reality, and we're getting the energy from them and through our own psychic abilities, you know, which is why all mediums are psychic, but not necessarily the reverse.
Right.
That energy is becoming like images or words or feelings, and that's how we're getting information. So it's not an exact science. There is an interpretation element. So
That's
I think
a great way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. So I'm going to promote Debbie to a panelist
okay.
as you come on. Okay. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Adam.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. I've been going through a rough time in my life for the past 9 years or so, and just wondered if my guides had any words of wisdom of when this will end, when we'll turn a corner, and or is there something I need to be prepared of? Any hurdles coming up to?
Okay. So that's a great question. So firstly, you know, I feel like you're very much full of life, and I feel like Spirit's just saying you're not to worry about people that may get envious of you, I want to say, or may want what you have or stuff like that. So you're probably an empath too, like myself. Like you feel people's energies, you know, when you're around them. So they you know, your guards are saying, you know, you're having to work through things. I don't know if a father figure died, or your dad still living, I hope, or
No, my father's passed.
this was a while ago though, right? Or,
Right.
So I don't know if we're going back 10 years or even further, but I think a little further, right, than 10 years, or it doesn't matter. But the point being is I feel like he's around you and giving me the feeling like there's some overlap with something about him, maybe his illness or passing, and some energy that you took on with that, basically. And it's not like there's a direct correlation, but I feel like that you've been healing from a lot, you know, going back to that period. I want to say, and I don't know if your dad smoked, but if not, there's a smoky man around me right now also. Oh, so this was probably somebody else then that's stepping in. But anyways, what's your month and date of birth too? That might help me link in a bit.
My month and date of birth?
Yeah.
December 28, 64.
Oh, very good. So you're born on a 1 day. You're in your, you know, you're into your 6, 7 year. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I mean, I feel like you've turned the corner already, I want to say. And I just wanted to see, and was there anything a little bit more specific about your question, or just?
Well, it's more or less a divorce I've been going through for 9 years, and it will not stop. It will not end. And
that's what it is. Is your father-in-law passed, or your ex-father-in-law, or?
No, he's still here, and he's might be a little part of the small part of the problem. There's been a lot of injustices, a lot of attacks, and just continual.
So that's what they're trying to show me, not the. Okay, I get it. Yeah. The thing is, like I feel like this is the year that you can pull out of like all of this stuff, I want to say, as well. And what they want you to do, I don't know if you understand the concept of like putting mirrors around you in your mind, but to just like feel like the energy, almost like you know, meditate and feel like Archangel, I want to say Raphael, but you can work with Archangel Michael, just feeling like this diamond white fire just coming through your body, cleansing everything out, cleansing, and then visualize these really shiny mirrors around you, face them out, and just say, you know, and just make that like whenever you have to deal with situations like that, you deal with that. And they've shown me the number 11, so I think by November you're completely clear of this energy, and I think even by the summer you're going to start to feel better. But keep doing cleansing, because their negative energy is like affecting your energy fields. Yeah. Hard for you to move forward. So if you clear that, it's going to start to get easier. And they're saying you're a compassionate person, but sometimes you just can't feel sorry for people.
Yeah. Well, Debbie, thank you so much. And of course, we all wish you well, and take care of yourself, sweetheart.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Right. You're welcome. So, Adam, tell us a little bit about this new book.
Well, I have a couple in my computer that are part of the way done. The one I was alluding to earlier, the one we were talking about was about I mean, right now the title is Diary of a Psychic Child. That might change. So I'm just trying to firstly relate stories about my own abilities growing up. Little snippet is like by the time I was 4 years old, I was already standing in my head and sitting in lotus and stuff like that. So
Oh, geez.
would be normal that I'd be a yogi when I grow up, because obviously I did that in another lifetime, or things like I would remember things from past lives, or being a young child I thought it was this lifetime, and I got into some pretty heated arguments with my parents, like one example being like I would always ask about this place up north where the sun where it stays light till midnight and stuff like that, and asking my father, "Can you take us back there?" And he's looks at me, he's like, "What the heck are you talking about?" Meanwhile, not even stopping to think, how does a 4-year-old know about northern
Right.
latitudes? And then, because I would say up north, NORF, can we go up north again? Where it stays light, and it's So anyway, so it's little excerpts of that. And then then it's going to go on to talk about my adult life and everything, and then how to work with psychic children, but just to give the kids an idea, but also the parents an idea, because I think it used to be when we were growing, maybe 1 in 30 had these abilities. I think now it's more like 1 in 5 or 1 in 7. I mean,
I
a lot
agree.
of kids are have these spiritual and these intuitive abilities, and some of the parents don't get it, and so I want to write something to help people out a little bit.
I agree. I think it's really important because, like you, my parents didn't get it. They
Yeah.
would say, "Lisa, there's no one there. Be quiet. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're making it up," or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's tough being the black sheep or the odd one or whatever, and even today, to this day, my mom's long since passed, but even to this day, my dad will come to my galleries and he'll look at me like, "I don't know how you're doing it, but you're doing it."
Oh yeah.
So it's that the scientific mind versus the spiritual mind, left versus right brain. So it's so important to have, even if you're not intuitive yourself, it's so important to be open to what
Yes.
this new generation of kids are telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is so important. So Adam, if you could please, dear, give us your contact information so
Sure.
those who are listening today and in the future can get in touch with you.
Sure. Well, I have a website. It's AdamBetweenTheWorlds.com. So spelled just like it sounds, AdamBetweenTheWorlds.com, all one word, no hyphens or anything like that. My email is info@AdamBetweenTheWorlds.com. So that's easy. My contact by phone is an 845 area 687-3693, and you can find me on Facebook pretty easily by looking up Adam Bernstein in Woodstock. I live in Woodstock, New York.
So Adam, our time is 2 seconds for being up.
Wow.
So I wish you well. Thank you so much for coming on. You're one of the first people that I thought of having on as a guest, because I remember my old days with Blog Talk Radio, and you were on the show, and it was such a joy. So I couldn't wait to get you back on.
Yeah, well, thank you. So this is relatively new, this format then?
It is. It is. And there's a lot of mediums that I'm uncomfortable with that, being face to face and having our picture online. Woohoo! Yeah. So you take care, my friend.
Thank you.
God bless you, and hopefully I'll see you this summer in Lilydale.
Awesome. I'll be there, God willing. And
I will too. Well, I hope and see you then. Take care, dear.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Well, everybody, how exciting. How exciting is that? I love having guests on, and I hope you listen in, because I have a lot more coming. There's a lot more guests, Pay attention to my Facebook page because that is where I post all the upcoming shows, whether it's an all message show with me giving the readings this time. Either I'm talking about a spiritual, metaphysical, psychic topic, a little bit of education there for you, as well as having lovely guests like Adam. So until next time, my little kidlets, may you seek the divine, be the divine, and you'll reap the divine. God bless. Mwah.